I think it's safe to say, my sweet little cherubs, that I have firmly had enough of edgy bollocks. I'm so worn out, in fact, that it feels like I've had my back blown out by Mandingo. If you know, you know. Instead, I've decided to do something goofier, and that is conception. I don't know anything about it going in, as I'll give you a little glimpse into the patented wolf writing process. I write all of my jokes live as I watch. Conception, I think, refers to creation or something, so I reckon it's one of those hopeless isekai bumbling loser ones. We start with quite possibly the most naked person I've ever seen in my life. She was so naked that I struggled to figure out which part of her anatomy was what, like day one at medical school. I'm going to zoom in on her, so you have no idea whether I'm showing something benign like a shoulder or kneecap, rather than a bare ass cheek. Joke's on you, that actually was a kneecap. Haha. It's well known that kneecaps are the sexiest of all the body parts. Mine are covered by hair as I'm all shy. Teehee. Here's an observation. I'm fairly sure Japanese people don't know how to kiss. I've seen enough evidence from my internet research that demonstrates my theory. These two losers going in open mouth like Goldine, or like me begging a muscle mommy to spit in mine. Some of these I don't actually know what they are, possibly slimes awakening to swallow an adventurer whole. I'm getting a bit of a sleazy vibe from all this for some reason, and we get to meet our protagonist, who is running through the halls. He goes up to the roof, hopefully to jump off.
I don't have any... Oh my god!
I don't know what it is about Japan, or whether anime is actually reflective of actual school life, but I really, really hope not. We didn't have confessing our feelings on a rooftop when I was at school. You just had one of their mates run up to you and be like, "Oi, Becky wants to wank you off!" And that's about as romantic as it got. The girl says she needs to psych herself up first, like she's superhuman about to jump onto a microwave ribs first.
Fuck this shit!
The girl says she's pregnant, and I'm quite frankly stunned. Anime protagonists are widely known as the least fertile and gooniest creatures ever to live. I reckon you'd know who they were at a bukkake, because their spunk is clear like hand wash. Only joking, their relationship isn't like that apparently, and we get hints at an immaculate conception like Jesus. Okay, here's Joseph, and here is Mary. She says, "Do you want to know who the baby daddy is?" Like it's fucking Maury, and he gives helpful cuck partner energy, and he's like, "I'm just trying to support you no matter what." I just laugh, eating my mini eggs again. They steal my time travel circle from the last video, and they get isekai'd or something. She wakes up like a pirate and is like, "Huh? Compared to my pregnancy, this isn't all that weird." Right, okay. Oh fuck, okay, so it is a divine pregnancy, and she's set to give birth to Japanese Jesus-chan. Ooh. She buys a pregnancy test and says that she's never had sex. Joseph looks around for a quick escape from child support, and he hits her with a classic. Oh yeah, that's crazy. "I'll come with you to the doctor." New name, Cuck Joseph. She acquires a new power. Ah yes, I feel it coursing through my veins. A limited potential menstrual power. Activate! Yeah! Low-key, I think that's an accurate description of what actually happened. She starts glowing purple like she's getting raw-dogged by the lad from Solo Leveling, and a sexy genie flies out. Cuck Joseph is looking at the genie, who is black, and is thinking there is absolutely no way that's mine. He activates his own power, that's conveniently the katana, like all anime heroes. I considered culturally what a British man might be able to summon, and no, it's not a Knights Templar sword, but a whisk that I get to lick cake mixture off. He apparently is some sort of hidden swordsman of the mist, like fucking Zabuza, and he kills it in one strike. This isn't addressed at all as weird, so I reckon his Japanese heritage gives him some sort of innate power over swordsmanship. Sadly, I checked the British power again, and it says that I have a +10 to racism and food quality low. They cut through into a woodland, and she's like, "Well, maybe we're in someone's bad dream." Yeah, mine. This is looking like a fucking stinker, lads, I'm not gonna lie. They marvel at their new tattoos, and Mary realises that she's going to have to join MS-13 if no one else will employ her. A bear comes flying up, and she slams this little cunt like she's the Hulk. The bear calls him a stinky virgin, which is actually pretty close to the actual quote. Some sort of hairstylist turns up with a big clock like he's Flavor Flav, which is obviously now his new name. Apparently they're going to meet Flavor Flav's master, and I'm quick to note that they can't seem to decide whether it wants to be fantasy or sci-fi. They meet with the reigning king, and he's like, "Hear my plea. Our world is in great peril, and I need you two, untrained losers, to save it all." They are chosen as visitors, like they're seeing a relative in prison. He says you have no choice but to save us, as you cannot go home unless you save the world. Mary correctly says that that's pretty fucking dumb, bruv. If there was going to be a character that's going to make me the most angry, I reckon it'd be this little bastard. We meet a collection of people destined to join the harem as Joseph wakes up to find himself strapped to a bed. This bird is all creepy and it's like, take a good look at your body, hero. You have the markings of the constellations. Like a teenage girl's first tattoo. Within the labyrinth you must defeat the monsters of impurity, and to do so you must acquire... Shoo, shoo, shoo. I have a sneaking suspicion that the readers of this manga have never had the chance to reread the series and critique the story, probably because all the pages are stuck together. You must gather the support of the 12 great priestesses, and Mary is one of them, by the way. I was thinking something's a bit off about the character designs, and I reckon it's because their eyes are too slightly far apart, like Sid from Ice Age. Apparently the priestesses will expel all of the impurities from their body, and that was the Black Genie. Now, if she went on stage with Kendrick, she wouldn't accidentally say the N-word like this girl.
I don't bleep one single word, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do it?
Yeah, you did it.
I'm so sorry.
It turns out that she isn't pregnant, and that Jesus Chan is no more. Oh, right, here we go. I was wondering when the silly bollock zone would commence, and I believe it's right now, at a record pace. Cuck Joseph apparently needs to impregnate 12 different maidens, like some sort of rapper, and they will become the star children, forced to dance and act in Disney shows. I began looking over my shoulder watching this, concerned that someone would see me. I encourage all my viewers to set up some sort of Kevin McAllister level trap to safeguard their family's admittedly already low opinions of you. They say, oh, it's time for you to smash, and it's getting pretty fucking weird. What the fuck is this? They are placed in some sort of elimination chamber as they pretend to not want to fuck each other's brains out. Apparently the star children just appear without growing in the belly. He says, have my child and fulfill the mission, and I really, really fucking hate this. It's not a visceral King's Game kind of hate, but rather an unsettling hate that you feel you shouldn't watch, like Hitler being happy. I think I'm going to call this bear fuckhead Monokuma. The love ritual is complete, and Cuck Joseph literally nuts instantly. Apparently it's the physical, emotional connection and not a sexual one. And he gives birth to fucking Tails or Sonic. Like, Dad, you got any corn dogs? They bump into each other again after their Tinder hookup, and dickhead Monokuma rightfully is thrown away. Their star child is immediately sent to foster care, like it's rural Alabama. The next maiden arrives and she loses her spot in the art of war. We see the other maidens and my weird hatred shifts into actual real hatred. These girls are young and it's fucking weird. I don't even know if I want to review this. Wait, hold on, is this guy called Ishiki Yuge? Arriving at Epstein's Island, we have Katerin, prison, grievous head wound, the Maiden of Cancer, aka League of Legends, Lehman Rusk, actual woman, dead-ass bowl cut, Anya's rebellious phase, straight to prison, Vaporeon, and the second adult. I think I'm going to try and endure this and actually make a video, but we'll see. Flavor Flav hosts a party. I reckon so the police snipers have a clearer shot at Cuck Joseph. We see an accurate representation of the difference between anime girls and real Japanese girls. League of Legends says that she's going to read his mind and fucks it up instantly. I'd have held my mind in check and then hit her with the most grotesque memory of a shit I could muster and watch her fly away like a vampire from garlic. Mary comes in all tipsy and he's like, have you been drinking? And she apparently got drunk from chocolates like they were laced with gasoline and spirits. I tried absinthe once and it was awful. I had some before going to a club. I got halfway through Mr. Worldwide
To Mr. Worldwide.
before I woke up on a couch in some sort of back room that looked alarmingly like this. She fucks around for a bit and gets all jealous of the maidens before realising she has some sort of voodoo doll. Dickhead Monokuma is like, don't underestimate the labyrinth. Like you just come across the bone dragon in Skyrim underleveled. We see the foster home where the teacher beats the piss out of what I believe is a one-day-old child. She's like, raw dog me, and hits her with the boingies. I've noticed the star child doesn't actually have a nose, which I believe is pretty fucking critical for a fox. It's like being a giraffe with no neck, or an NFL player without any domestic violence convictions. They walk through that old-fashioned kids car map, and this little fella eats shit. League of Legends confronts the child, telling him that he's clearly feeding in the jungle. She lives in a dollhouse, and he's like, can I ask a favour? And asks for a star child. I'm going to use this excuse next time I chat up a woman. Miss, I require you to bear my child, as so when I enter the dungeon with my firstborn, they will not be lonely. This I'm fairly sure would get you put away for a very long fucking time. She's like, yeah, you're right, I love kids, therefore I'm going to give you one to send to the mines, like a Welsh mother in the 1890s. She says we must make a strong child born of my purity. If I was a hero, my kids would come out looking like this little fella from The Witcher 3. The king gives him Star Wars, which I think I misheard as Star Wars, thinking he was going to give him a DVD of The Phantom Menace, something I think I'd rather be watching. I thought it was some kind of joke when the bear was like, oh, for more information go to the website, which has happened twice now. So I did. It turns out that on the Japanese site that it references Cuck Joseph and Mary being cousins. Yee-hoo, my name's Cletus and this is my star child. Say hello, child.
That's my daddy.
Yee-hoo! They get ready to go to the dungeon and they prepare to conduct the ritual of impurities, which sounds like they're cooking crystal meth. The kids, when they die, get turned into Russian dolls, and he shouts, "Ah! Cancer!
Cancer!
Like an astute radiologist. His kids are fucking dead, I think, and they run away like me fighting all Elden Ring bosses. He says he needs stronger star children, like some sort of pervert Nickelodeon producer. Here's episode 3. I woke up the next morning, the day I was set to watch the next couple episodes, and for but a moment I forgot that I had to do this. So when I opened my pad and saw episode 3, Would You Try Having My Child, it felt like Thanos had just obliterated me into dust. Apparently star children just respawn like Counter-Strike at the end of the round. I was about to call His Majesty's Child Protective Services, as I'd only ever expect this level of child neglect in Slough. Dickhead Monokuma says that he must rid the maidens of impurities, like he's synthesizing a new batch of Chinese fentanyl. Cockbag Monokuma is wearing handcuffs, so I assume he is awaiting trial for some sort of monstrous bear sex crime. They complain to Flavor Flav that he is too weak. Apparently there's never been a change of maidens like this, like the shift switch at a strip club. He's told that he must conduct a double love ritual, like P. Diddy's cellmate, and we get the wank title screen. They blank out the word threesome with some sort of train whistle, but don't blank out the word 69. They say it might not work as it's only mentioned in the ancient text, like if you sort by old to new on Pornhub. I'm almost too embarrassed to watch this, had I not lost my shame years ago. So he goes for a walk with Mary. Apparently her voodoo doll is something he gave her, rather than making herself, and for some reason I find that a little bit more creepy. Here's a doll of me. Do what you will with it, fair maiden. And then I run off, knocking over shit. Oh, a hot spring episode on episode 3. He's like, whoa! And she says, stop being a fat pussy and get in. She's like, why do you have so many injuries? And he's like, it's the product of my training. She uses the doll to talk to him like a criminal child psychologist, asking him where he's been touched. May I remind you that this is his cousin. Her voodoo doll falls in and she dives in to save it, saying, oh, it cannot be! All dramatic like, and he goes rummaging around looking for a corpse like he's a police diver. Apparently they had once in the past pledged to be together forever. It seems that Cuck Joseph is the only visitor who has not smashed, and everyone from our world apparently likes to be watched having sex, like some sort of dogging car park in Clifton. They treat the love ritual like it's not just a cuddle, and I think I understand why Japanese birth rates are so low, as they have this type of shit to instruct them. The doctor sedates Monokuma with the same concoction that killed Michael Jackson. Her eyes are really, really funny, reminding me of prey animals who have eyes on the sides of their head to look out for predators. They start talking about her little brother before their love ritual, and fetish alert. She's like, oh, you remind me of my little dead brother, and you are just the same age as him, tee-hee. She says, bring me another maiden, like a swinger's profile on Tinder. We have one maiden who works in a bar, and she's like, who wants to see my world-famous dance? I suspect, my friends, this is going to be really shit, so please place your bets here.
Get back there and start the music.
Oh, it was, and it had big TikTok energy, I'm afraid to say. Side note here, when I first joined the site, I'd literally never watched any videos, and I still don't, like some sort of boomer. So my algorithm is essentially a pure maiden. The poor Chinese lad in the TikTok factory is pulling his hair out, as he's just throwing absolutely everything at my wall, hoping I interact with anything for the algorithm. At the moment, it's passages from the Quran, Bollywood news, and Chinese dancing, trying to play the odds so they can figure out who the fuck I am and what slop to give me. However, everyone knows that the one thing that everyone gets is first trap dancing. Seem familiar? This annoys me, not because I'm some grouchy cunt, which is ostensibly true, but come on, if you're going to get millions upon millions of views every single upload, would it kill you to get, I don't know, maybe a dance lesson to make the simple hip shaking a bit more fluid and cleaner? Have some fucking pride. Maybe I'm going to have this as his own little clip to trick the total losers into commenting, she's honestly a great dancer. Anyway, we talk to TikTok, and she gives him juice because he's too young to get drunk. And she says, let's get this out the way, like a disgruntled escort not paid enough to put up with my hyperfixations. You know, trains are actually really cool. He attempts the rhythm and hits her with the tism. The girls start naked, and I'm not fucking around here. He literally cums his pants by just standing there, which made me die from cringe.
Oh no, Gringe!
They beat the first monster and he activates some screw. Wow, very funny. The monster screams from the dungeon like he's a member of Slipknot, and we see the end credits. I think they used the completely wrong music for this outro, with some J-pop rock song. Whereas it'd be way funnier and better to have early 90s gay bar Eurotrance. Also, because I'd be less likely to get copy-struck into fucking oblivion. We get a visual novel element here, where we hear from what I believe is a new maiden, saying, "Oh, you're so amazing, Cuck Joseph. It was there I met him, at the playground. Excuse me?" We basically have some sort of pervert game montage, saying, "Oh, the censors." The bear says, "Why won't you fuck me?" At least he hasn't crossed that line yet. We meet Katerin from the Russian Orthodox Church, so she knows she's going to be a real freak. He fights his way out of a Travis Scott concert and immediately chases after Vaporeon. She's like, "Why was I chosen? I'm a fucking fish." Is this a thing in Japanese schools, as I've seen it a bunch of times, where they deliberately don't make enough of a school sandwich, so students have to battle it out? Oh, that's why they're such great swordsmen. "You dare claim my tuna and egg sandwich? Time to eat steel." Monokuma drops Epstein's flight log on his head, and he starts reading for new tips. He harasses Vaporeon, and I don't even know why, as she's not even a shiny. She is concerningly young, but I feel later on may be the better time to confront that shit. She says "thank you, kindred soul" to Cuck Joseph, so that must mean she's a mouth breather as well. She is the whitest person I've ever seen, like me busting out the sprinkler in the club, or trying to crip walk. They start talking about painting, and the wolf-patented wanky piano music begins. She says she feels safest in a box, like she's the fucking Undertaker. Oh, she actually does sleep in the coffin like some sort of vampire. She says she must paint what she sees in her dreams. He says that he'll buy her some sandwiches, not even fresh mind you, and waits in the park for the girl like a serial killer. She brings her casket with her like she's about to wrestle Kane. I thought the things on her head were ears, but I think it's just a dead haircut. This is painful. I keep looking at the episode, praying it moves forward faster. He prays to God and finds out that she has sleep sickness, and please, prepare yourself for this. Apparently, every time she sleeps, her life gets shorter. Yeah, that's called the passage of time, dumbass. They should have had her stay awake with some illegal trucker caffeine pills, mixed with God knows what. One time, before a rugby game I was playing, there was this guy and he was like, "Oh, I've got these caffeine tablets called Ass Blaster Lightning Blaze or something," and I correctly turned one down. One guy says, "Sure, I'll try," and he gets given the pot. I keep doing my ham wraps until I hear, "Dude, how many did you take?" He took 12. He took 12 Ass Blaster Blaze tablets. The owner put them in his bag, probably to destroy the evidence afterwards. We do the warm-ups, come back to the change rooms. I look back, pouring with tears and violently vibrating like it's a 19 magnitude earthquake or he's going over a cobbled stone in an F1 car. I reckon if he vibrated any quicker, he could have phased through the walls like the Flash. Anyway, I'm going to keep doing these story times throughout this episode because I'm fucking bored and I need to make my own fun. Apparently, this sleepy disease is the most peaceful death one could ask for, like one of those euthanasia roller coasters I made on Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid. Apparently, she sleeps in the coffin so that she can die comfortably and not be a burden. He brings his own coffin to carry around, like a goth stream relationship. They talk about star brightness as the coffin beckons me. She starts to fall asleep and hopefully, for both of their sakes, dies. The age of these characters are weird and gross, so instead of showing you suggestive scenes, I thought it would just be a lot funnier to do this wolf theatre instead.
This is that banished haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin, with which grief it is supposed the fair creature died. And he is come to do some villainous shame to the dead bodies. I will apprehend him. Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
They have a love ritual, and he shoves a water stone up her ass, I think. I have noticed that he hasn't called any of the other girls he's already had rituals with, like some sort of e-boy. Monokuma preps a present, and she pops out a sliding door like that murder house. Oh, so I was right, and she's a total freak. My freakdar never failing me, along with my creamegdar, less successful on my radar, lidar, binoculars, gaydar, and my glandular. They sing a song to us, and I have no idea what the fuck it means.
Mango, fig, cherries, and berries, ripe for the picking, ripe for the picking.
Look, I'm going to do a rhyme that makes just as much sense. Go to the market, go to the bank, making a video and the anime's wank. With the previous 2 Wolf verses, I was invigorated by hatred like some sort of Sith Lord, going episode to episode fueled purely on spite. Conception is just not made for me. Effectively, it can be distilled as hentai for cowards. If I programmed an AI to watch it, it would machine learn to make some sort of nano-machined arm, breaking through the walls of science and technology to lead us screaming into the future, and with that power, it would grab the mouse and quickly uninstall itself. Episode 5 begins with generic dungeon bollocks, constantly going back and forth to the surface like you forgot to buy MP potions on Persona 5. Apparently they're going on some sort of summer vacation in some shithole van. We had one of these vans at my school that had a hole in the floor, so you could see the road underneath. Naturally, this was known as the pissing well, and someone always missed. We have a beach episode on episode 5, which confirms the person who wrote this is basically just saying, oh, fuck it. You have to earn the beach episode. You can't just go in raw with no lubricant, you madman. We see some blonde dude who I named Ken for now pull up, and they were like, oh, he's the idol of the school. Apparently he's after all of the maidens one by one. Ooh, how dare he. This, I can say resolutely and firmly, is fucking shit. Unequivocally shit. It's not even bad per se, just shit. Philosophers in the comments, feel free to figure out how that makes sense, or just turn on this episode and experience the same ride that I did, like I've just offered you some unknown mushrooms I found near the wolf cave. Ken gets his fortune told, and my consciousness began to pass over to the Netherrealm like it's fucking Insidious. This girl switches back and forth between personalities, and this guy's like, buh, and gets his fortune read. But I can do a way better job. Look.
It is I, Mystic Wolf, and I am going to read your fortune. Double tap your finger upon my sacred crystal. Yes, good. You should have seen some indication. Here is your fortune, but this is also the past and the present. You dumb motherfucker.
Apparently he has the seal of death on him, and I bet it's this guy. Look at him, he's so untrustworthy. He says, what a crock of shit. She tricks this dumb mark by saying it only works if you believe in it, like my cock when I need it most. This whole fortune thing doesn't really make any sense, as if you can see the future and avoid it, then technically it was not the future and never was. I'm going to call her the Tiger Talisman, like it's Jackie Chan Adventures, another certified hood classic. She is easily the most annoying so far. We return to North Korean child training camp, and the great leader arrives. They keep bringing up the website, and it's really starting to fuck me off. Catherine lets Ken in, and I reckon he is praying for death, hoping to be reincarnated in a show with a better story. He slips on his own cum, and we get questions of her purity and thus value as a maiden, which admittedly really annoyed me. She reveals she collects weapons like some sort of neckbeard, and she is like, since when have you mastered the blade? I've noticed that every single scene seems to last 3 minutes longer than it should, like a referee fucking up his injury time amount. Oh, it's time for noodles. I'm back with my noodles. This dumb idiot has been walking around with a Chinese crescent blade and not a naginata. I did notice earlier, but when I wrote it down on the script, it looked like I was such a massive loser I didn't want to reveal it. Episode 6 starts with a scenic shot of Switzerland, as we see a young girl off to hide all the gold the Nazis stole. I've been absolutely dreading this. We have an extremely young-looking girl, and this is where I teased I may get extremely angry. The only way you could plausibly handle this is from the outset set the bonding as a platonic act, and nothing weird about it. Oh great, he's sneaking up behind her like the neighbourhood paedophile behind a tree, offering her a little lolly to come quick. For a moment he says, oh, I can't do this, and I was like, good. Then he says it's because she's so pure looking, rather than it being fucking gross. Nice one. She works in a bakery as the parallel world lacks child labour laws like Trump's America. He starts grooming her by bringing her flour. She pushes Cuck Joseph into servitude. And, oh no, Monokuma says this, and I quote,
Let's bright, hopeful smile. I wonder briefly what it would be like to be inside that feeling. I'm filled with a sudden desire to have her in my hands, to knead her body like dough.
He throws her out and says, don't voice my inner thoughts without permission, which is fucking gross and I hate it. Oh, here's some more wolf theatre rather than this shit.
Good gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly, and hence leave me upon these gone. Let them affright thee, I beseech thee, youth. Put another sin upon my head, by urging me to fury, oh, begone. By heaven, I love thee better than myself, and for I come hither armed against myself. Stay not, be gone, live, and thereafter a madman's mercy bid thee run away. I do defy thee, and apprehend thee for a felon here. Wilt thou provoke me? Have at thee then, boy. Oh, I am slain.
No one turns up at the bakery because they have a registered sex offender working there. I think I'd rather take a taser to the nutsack than watch any more. It's at this point I just let the episode play and started Googling about the writer, as I literally couldn't give a fuck anymore. I had to unravel this big mystery as no one seems to want to claim it, like a really ugly baby or someone who clogged the school toilet with a giant shit. The series was composed for anime by Yuko Kakihara, who should quite frankly be fucking ashamed of themselves, but who actually made it was Yoshinori Terasawa, the producer of the game. It turns out that conception, Please Birth My Child, was a game first. I assume you have to get this game only in Japan, as if you tried to get it anywhere else you'd have to do it via dead drop, so the feds don't bring you in on your other warrants. Well, you know how I called the bear dickhead Monokuma? Well, it may not surprise you long-term viewers, but I am a genius, the height of wolf intelligence, as Terasawa is actually the Danganronpa guy, where Monokuma is from. I'd have used an alias when making the game, rather than people knowing I had anything to do with it. Fuck you. Episode 6. Two weird cunts come in, apparently they own Feastables, like Mr. Beast, Logan Paul and KSI, but she won't sell them the shop, as probably she legally can't. Apparently Feastables are putting bakers out of business as they didn't diversify their portfolios. Apparently Lehman Russ says that she can't help, even though her family owns Feastables. He grabs this girl's arm like a big fanny, and the girl regains her balance, and then immediately dives like a footballer, clattering her head on the table, presumably killing her. She wakes up in Joseph Fritzl's basement, and he enters in groping stance. He brought her bread and leaves like a medieval jailer. Monokuma says, oh, hurting a maiden is a serious crime, so he just committed another felony by kidnapping and confining her. Nice one, idiot. Monokuma insinuates that they can use Stockholm Syndrome to force a star child on her, and I generally felt a bit sick. She thinks that she's stuck out in the country and can't escape, and we see that prison time is aiding and abetting a criminal by letting him use her storeroom. This was all played for laughs, which kind of irritated me, like sand under my foreskin. I zoned out again after they drag out the concept, like copper wiring being stolen and sold as scrap. He reveals himself as the captor and says, please, you must take care of yourself. And yes, this is some sort of disgusting confinement fetish. Fuck off. I'm going to create a little postbox so I can periodically send Yoshinori Terasawa hate mail. He feeds her like a chinchilla. How'd she sleep like this? I have no idea. Oh, I was joking about the Stockholm thing, but they actually aren't. Hold on, let me add some more cunt mail. They make a star child in possibly the most disgusting and rapey way possible. I just beg that they don't do the thing with prison time. For the love of God, please. I would do a pilgrimage to Mecca if I know it would allow me to avoid what I know is coming. Grandpa comes in with gyat eyes and asks her to cook at the school festival. Episode 7. I reckon I would stomp Monokuma into dust if we met, obliterating him at an atomic level and causing the splitting of all existence into multiple dimensions, killing quintillions of life forms in the process, me feeling nothing all the while. Most of the Star Maidens are promoting their OnlyFans and whatever at school. Apparently,
we can't make happy bread in this book of 100 bread recipes, and the last piece is missing. What will I do without my happy bread?
we all go full pedo mode if they have a weird exchange, with him eating a mould of her ear, asking him to bite her real ear instead. Next they... I don't even want to talk about it, like, really. And then they make a bread cock, which he eats. Yeah, we're doing wolf theatre instead. Fuck you.
Gentlemen, farewell. If I live till morning, I'll visit you. If not, Faustus is gone to hell. Ah, Faustus, farewell. Ah, Faustus, now hast thou but one bare hour to live. and then thou must be damned perpetually. Stand still, you ever-moving spheres of heaven, that time may cease and midnight never come. Fair maiden, fair nature's eye, rise and rise again, and make perpetual the day, or let this hour be but a year, a month, a week, a natural day, that Faustus may repent and save his soul. O lente corite noxis qui. The stars move still, time runs, the clock will strike, the devil will come and Faustus must be damned.
We meet the Amazon delivery guy who keeps crashing into shit. Another one, dubiously young, back to Wolf Theatre, I guess.
Oh, I'll leap up to you, my God, who pulls me down? See where Christ's blood streams in my ferments. One drop would save my soul, half a drop, oh, my Christ. Ah, rend not my heart for my naming of my Christ, yet I will call upon him now. Oh, spare me, Lucifer. Where is it now? 'Tis gone, and see where God stretcheth out of his arm, and bends his ireful brow. Mountains and hills, come and fall upon me, and hide me from the heavy wrath of God. No. Then I will headlong run to the earth gape, oh no, it would not harbour me. You stars that reigned at my nativity, whose influence have allotted death and hell, now draw up, Faustus, like a foggy mist, into the entrails of yon labouring clouds, that when they vomit forth into the air, my limbs may issue from their smoky mouths, so that my soul may but ascend to heaven.
Monokuma tells her to drive more slowly, and she's like, but the quota. Apparently the speed of delivery matters in conveying emotions, so I really hope my letters get there soon. We have a flashback scene where she's supposed to look more like a child, but there's literally no fucking difference. Grandad just like, I'm making happy bread, and this will make us happy. I reckon the secret ingredient is heroin and a kick to the head. What the fuck? I think they forgot about Rich Girl being confined in the storehouse, and she's probably died of malnutrition. They have Vaporeon be Miss Feastables, as she has eaten so many of their sandwiches that she became a star. There is an element of truth to this, I have to admit. I had to gain weight for sports once, and each weekend I would have the dirtiest Subway you've ever seen. Ooh, it was saucy! Then, subsequent weeks later, the foreign workers that British people quite wholesomely referred to as boss man, regardless of where they're from, would go, oh, meatball man! And I would come in like Lil Yachty, popping off and going crazy. This is droll, like, I can't even explain it. I've kept my temper revolving pedo tendencies, as I've made that pretty clear in the I'm Standing on a Million Lies video. She takes Cuck Joseph into the school closet. What the fuck? They're handing out used underwear instead of bread. I took a moment to make sure I was still existing, and hadn't just died and entered hell where I belong. Mainly so I can get training in like I'm Gohan, waiting for all the people who made this shit to come down, just so I can kick the bollocks out of all of them. I'm staring at the episode number, praying that it ticks up, like searching with a dosimeter at Chernobyl as I hunt for a piece of radioactive graphite lethal enough to kill me and spare me this bollocks. This dumbass drops a letter in a bog, like the shittiest lady of the lake. They find the letter in the tree, and half of this episode is completely pointless and dragged out. She drops another letter, the absolute donkey, and she finishes her rounds by pissing in bottles as not to miss any deliveries like real Amazon drivers. Apparently she can only communicate with letters, like a pager from the 90s. He hands her a letter back because they don't have phones in this world, because he has to notify people by mail that a registered sex offender just moved into the neighbourhood. She's like, I learnt in maiden class that kisses on the cheek get people really excited. If this is what Japanese people think is racy, then they are quite frankly rising on another plane of existence on my Gooner tier list. Her face goes red like she's taking an iron pipe across the bridge of her nose, and he pats her like a dog. Episode 8, we have a Bachelor parody, and it's neither novel or funny. If this show was supposed to help sell the shitty games, then I think they did a terrible job. Apparently the original did quite well with the critics in Japan, and this has led me to therefore doubt all things the Japanese have ever told us, leading me to have an epiphany that the Japanese gaslit us into thinking raw fish was good. We have another dubiously young girl, so I'm ready with my Wolf Theatre button. They go on an animal date, and I literally could not give a single fuck. Apparently her ma and pa died when they were attacked by impurities, what racists call the Polish. I feel like I'm missing important Japanese context for this show, as I'm fairly sure it's chock filled with references. My favourite reality TV show used to be The Biggest Loser, which I used to watch eating ice cream and laugh, like some sort of fucking psychopath. Then I got fat, and now I find it inspiring. Oh, where did it all go wrong? Oh, probably the ice cream. Speaking of ice cream, this vanilla fuck chats for a bit, and the guys say how bored they are, which is quite funny. Imagine halfway through The Return of the King and Sam said, "Mr. Frodo, isn't this shit? Who would enjoy watching us?" The girls discuss love rituals, and Mary is shy like a grubworm. At this point, I realised what this show was missing. The show would be much better if the maidens didn't all get along, and had to fight for star child support, maybe have a ladder match over custody. More sushi gaslighting, I see. She eats raw fish like a barbarian, and the animals celebrate, except for me, just out of shot. Pedo. I'm lost at this point as they talk about sushi scores. Mireille is my favourite as A, she's an adult woman, and B, she isn't fucking annoying. The group date involves climbing a slippy staircase like it's Takeshi's castle. I'm hoping for the bridge event where they launch balls off their fat heads. She tries to give him a hand job in the jacuzzi and this Fanny is like, We get more sushi propaganda. He bumps off the other losers and chooses the child animal. I think I would use this opportunity to use her tail to strangle Cuck Joseph, like I'm playing the Epstein Island Hitman 2 DLC. She has animal mittens, which I completely respect, as I too only fuck with my Hulk hands on. I think this is supposed to be a mature moment from Cuck Joseph, saying, oh, Catgirl isn't ready for a double love ritual, and then you're reminded that he's basically just Japanese Gary Glitter. She says, don't worry, I have this substance that will make Catgirl more willing to have a threesome. Basically, we have just witnessed a child being given a date rape drug. Fuck you. This is too much. I don't think I can do this. I don't know if it's because I didn't grow up with anime and was a late comer, a bit like Cuck Joseph, I guess.
Impose some end into my incessant pain. Let Faustus live in hell 1,000 years, 100,000 years, and then at last be saved. Oh, no end is limited to the soul. Oh, no end is limited to damned souls. Ah, Pythagoras, metempsychosis. Were that true, this soul would fly from me and I would be changed unto some Brutus beast. Oh, beasts are happy, for when they die, their souls are soon dispersed, dissolved in elements. But mine must live, still to be plagued in hell. Cursed be the parents that engendered me. No, Faustus, curse thyself, curse Lucifer, that hath deprived thee of the joys of heaven. Oh, it strikes now, body turn to air, or Lucifer will bear thee quick to hell. Oh soul, be changed into little water drops, and fall into the ocean never to be found. My God, look not so fierce upon me. Adders and serpents, let me breathe a while. Ugly hell, gape not, come not. Lucifer, I'll burn my books. Oh, Mephistopheles.
End scene. But I just can't find any enjoyment in this at all. I think if you're younger and were closer to the characters' ages, it might be less weird, but I'm not, so it is. It's weird because you know that an adult wrote it, either out of their own perversion or knowing perverts will like it. I look to see what the characters' ages are on the wiki, but they're never stated, and I imagine it's deliberate for obvious cynical reasons. Uh-oh. There doesn't seem to be much connection between star children and their parents, so to speak, which is pretty fucking lazy on behalf of the artists, I reckon. Flavor Flav says that there is a 13th Phantom, as I got distracted by something more enticing, such as siphoning battery acid into my asshole. Apparently the 13th Maiden could be a guy, and surprisingly Cuck Joseph is pretty down with it, which is pretty progressive. Monokuma says, oh, our female demographic will go through the roof, meaning that they are aware of the appeal of each maiden, and in turn the deliberate uses of pedo bait. Fuck you, Terasawa. Oh, sorry, let me send another letter. My Crunchyroll crashed here, and I was absolutely delighted. Still not sponsored, by the way, though I'm about as brand-friendly as ISIS at this point. He goes cruising for pussy as he's looking for the new maiden, prowling the city and walking into random businesses and ogling the employees. I too regularly walk into my local Domino's and lurk by the pepperoni. Clearly he's into bears as he watches muscly men. Weirdly, the fact that they are trying to have a gay pandering episode makes it less gay. I can't really understand why. This show cannot hope to compete with the homoerotic magnum opus that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If they just kept the part in where he's kind of cool with the guys, then it'll be fine, but then we have another 15 minutes of fucking padding that absolutely killed it. Cuck Joseph definitely proves that he is not an ally, and says, "Oh, a male maiden freaks me out, abandoning Pride Month like corporations on the 1st of July. How can a maiden be a man? Whoa, dude." They admit that they've run out of content on episode 9. Fuck me. I reckon the 13th Maiden's probably going to be the teacher, as they're the only other named character we've met. I decide to call them Warlord on account of their child soldier training. Cuck Joseph says, "Oh, do you have any friends?" And he's like, "No, I'm dressed like a vampire, dipshit." They make a dual OnlyFans like the Island Boys, and he runs away crying, confirming he is a bottom. Flavor Flav is like, "Hey, what's poppin', player?" And he gives him a history book, not a Japanese one, so he might learn something about Nanking. He's like, "Monokuma, it's so hard to get in the right mindset to suck cock." And the bear is like, "Did I ever tell you about my history?" And the piano starts. Oh, fuck me. It's revealed that Monokuma is an impurity, and their original researcher died before they finished, only to be saved by the handsome king. Wow, really cared about that. Thanks. Cheers, pal. He comes back and he's like, "I'm ready for the cock." They are like, "Who would you choose from us?" And he says, "I'll take both of you." Ready to be triple stacked crazy style. The women are just aura farming in the background, as it's revealed that this was just a test, love is love moment, and it falls completely flat after making fun of gay men the whole episode, as that just isn't right. Mainly because it's my job. Episode 10 starts with Cuck Joseph brainstorming the 13th Maiden like it's LA Noire. The kids show that their African child soldier boot camp has been a roaring success, and they go to the dungeon. This guy's reached Vicky Pollard levels of children at this point, and they do battle with a great beast. My favourite of the star children is the guy who looks like he's wired, like he's just done spice mixed with 2-stroke diesel. The sky dishes glow, like the aliens have finally made contact. The 13th Phantom has appeared, and thus he must find the 13th Maiden. Warlord is some sort of stinky weeb with J-pop idols all around her room, and starts using primary school crush techniques to get him to like her. Notice that she hasn't used the "Becky wants to whack you off" from my school. Big mistake. Here's a plot hole. They knew that the maidens have a marking on them, so the whole gay exploration thing would only have worked if, Cuck Joseph, you must find my marking deep and nestled into my asshole. Why she's dressed like a flight attendant, I'm not quite sure. Her dad left her some message about her being the 13th Maiden, like The Grudge, I reckon. Imagine if it's like, "Please, hero, please don't fuck my daughter, please. For real, please." It's some wanky reference to what I think is Japanese EastEnders, so I'm hoping for a Who Shot Cuck Joseph storyline. I'm really having trouble watching this. I think I'd rather considered hooking up my nipples to a power station and letting the dial go beyond max to the secret setting of totally fucked. They go on a dinner date and this feels like Love Island, with remarkably even less likeable characters. They go back to her gaff and he's like, The piano music started, and I literally summoned a demonic circle through my own blood magic to find out directly from the devil when I was going to die and ways that I could expedite the process. Believe it or not, a fly began buzzing around my head, and it was the second most annoying thing I had to put up with. He brings her some sort of Amish dress and calls her a classic beauty like she's an Aston Martin. She appears to violently shit herself. Oh, she did. She's hospitalised from losing too much water from diarrhea, like she's just got fucking cholera or something. 2 episodes left. Fuck me. They have a love ritual that sadly I don't get to put Wolf Theatre over. She collapses from the rigorous cuddling, and the king says, "Oh, it's time to reveal the whole truth to Cuck Joseph." He goes to a classic idol shop, and this motherfucker is like,
"Go for the classics, I see."
It seems that items can be brought between worlds, so I began smuggling in bricks of cocaine through my contacts in the Medellin cartel. Flavor Flav leads Cuck Joseph to meet the king. He must not defeat the 13th Phantom, but seal it instead. It is Cuck Joseph who is actually the Ward Seal, and he must sacrifice himself to save the world. If you were Cuck Joseph and had to put up with this little twat all the time, I'd have gladly sealed myself away for eternity. They're trying to do a sad moment as he gives out gifts like sex offender Santa from the last video. He gives Mary a gift, hopefully a loaded handgun. Instead, it's a new voodoo doll. She likes the old one, which is worn and manky, and she sniffs it like a police dog. I'm extremely bored. Like, I'd rather jump on a plug than finish this, reduced to a state of zombification, not unlike the crawlers from Call of Duty. Apparently Warlord is a star child who is also a maiden, and has also lost her powers. What the fuck is this?
Okay, you've gotta
You've
do
gotta
it.
do it! You've gotta do it! You gotta do it!
You gotta do it!
I don't even know Japanese pop culture, but even I know this is cringe.
Oh no, cringe.
Cuck Joseph gives Monokuma a big lolly, like a Victorian child whom had a wonderful day at the fair with Mama and Papa. It appears he is going to fuck the bear, which he does for hours it seems. The last episode arrives, and I'm fucking delighted. The maidens are told to pull their weight and complete the ritual. They enter the dungeon and he tries to fight the monster rather than seal it. Monokuma is acting all clingy like it wasn't just a one-time thing. Why he didn't bring the Star Children along, as, I don't know, they're your main fighting force, dipshit. They raise their hands to complete the ritual, and the spell hits him, like the guy who jumped into that cactus patch. Mary refuses to continue. She's like, your entire world can go fuck itself, as this world means nothing without Cuck Joseph. Sorry kids, this world can't continue without this pedo loser. They arse-pull a new solution out of nowhere, and I don't care anymore. Apparently, if he truly bonds with the maidens, then he can defeat the final phantom. The mums arrive to pick up the kids like it's the school run, and they activate combined group praying like it's a mosque. Oh, they became mech suits. She gives him a special potion that we've never heard of before, and we get a shit battle. Warlord takes a hit from the Phantom, and she doesn't actually show any sign of injuries, so I reckon it might be the cholera acting up again. I know this might be a weird statement, but I think I know what God feels like. Imagine you have the ability to witness any reality, like looking through a screen, and even though you are miserably bored, you have to watch the events unfold out of a sense of obligation, waiting for something fun to happen, like a natural disaster or nuclear winter. Warlord's daughter sees her die, and doesn't seem to care much. The maidens activate their magic. They are all like, we must save the animals, the world of science, people, and this little fuck is like, I want to make more bread and be molested. They activate and he becomes a fucking Megazord and fires a combined mecha beam, and we see its true form. The Phantom, who I think is a member of the Thousand Sons, is like, why do you reject me, like a jaded ex. Einzun Mold here gives him a psychic attack, but Cuck Joseph has resistance, drawing out the psychic phase. The little girl appears to power up to shit herself like her mum, and turns into a trident, valiantly slaying the final phantasm, rolling high on the charge phase. They prepare to leave, and Cuck Joseph doubts whether he wants to leave, unwilling to go anywhere where molesting minors is a felony. He says he's going back and will no doubt proclaim that he is reformed after doing time at a specialist centre, away from general population. All the maidens dash through the portal to join him in our world, and I have no idea how he's going to pay for all of these people. Oh, apparently Warlord just comes to life and the fucking raccoon turns into a girl. Oh, brilliant. There is not a single chance in the world that the Americans would allow these collection of freaks to exist without killing them and conducting autopsies on their alien anatomies. This sucked. It sucked in a different way to the other shows I've covered, but it indeed did suck. Wolf rating, shit. Bye!